First of all, am I the only person who doesn't know what Kid versus Cat is? I guess it's some cartoon, but I have no idea what it is. All I know is I'm going to be reading a fanfic about it, which the fanfic is called Kit versus Cat. So, the TV show is called Kid versus Cat, and the fanfic is called Kit versus Cat. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. How silly of me. Ha ha ha. I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it. You listen. Today's fanfic is going to be a doozy. You already know what the title is. It's Kit vs. Cat by Freddy's Nightmare 1984. I'm assuming this person's a fan of Friday the 13th. It's rated K+. It's in English. It's romance. It's Mr. Cat. It has 39 reviews. And the fanfic is incomplete. Usually I don't review fanfics that are incomplete, but the last time this fanfic was updated was back in September 1st of 2009. It's now 2012, so I don't think this person's going to be updating this fanfic anytime soon. Either that or they forgot to change the status to complete, which is sometimes the case as well. So, let's get started by reading the author's note. Oh, yes. That first sentence proves to me that this fanfic is going to be great. Yeah, I know it's just the author's note, but, you know, the author's note tends to tell a lot about how the story's going to be, too, especially if there's a lot of bad spelling and grammar in the author's note. The H in high isn't capitalized, there's no comma after high, and the sentence that follows has a lack of capital letters and punctuation as well. So yeah, this fanfic is going to be a doozy, and I can tell that just by looking at the first sentence of the author's note. That's kind of sad. So let's get started. Hi everyone, this is the second story for Kid vs. Cat fanfiction. Yay! Hope to get lots of reviews, and any advice would be appreciated. Well, here's some advice. Work on your grammar, please, and thank you. Disclaimer, I do not own Kid vs. Cat, I only own Kit. Oh, Kit. It's an original character. Who wants to bet it's going to be a Mary or Gary Stew? Coop. Bert Burtenberger called upstairs. Come down here, please. I have something for you. Coop ran downstairs. What is it, Dad? Okay, we need to pause. Look at this frickin' layout. Is it really that hard to have dialogue be in its own separate lines instead of being in this one big blob of text? Also, what's with the lack of punctuation? What's with the lack of capital letters? I mean, seriously, this is crap. It's like this person was writing this on a sugar high and couldn't have bothered to put any effort into, you know, like putting actual great layout into it. This is probably what they looked like when they were typing it. Okay, so he called downstairs. Come here, I was like, wait, what is that? Well, I know Miley has, and I was thinking, hey, my God, has a pet. We should have that one too. Oh, yeah, Dad. Is it a dog? Maybe it can scare cat away. Don't do that. So let's read. His sister Millie walked into the kitchen carrying what? It just says carrying and then there's a space and then a period at the end. So are they carrying an empty thing of space? Well, I know that Millie has, and I was thinking, hey, my daughter has a pet, so why shouldn't my son have one too? Coop's eyes widened. Oh, Dad, no way. Is it a dog? 'Cause maybe it can scare Cat away, Coop thought. Bert shook his head. Nope, it's not a dog. He set a big box in front of Coop. Go ahead and see for yourself. Coop nodded and eagerly opened the box. He frowned. Oh no, Dad, you got me a cat? The cat looked up. It had been sleeping. Well, go ahead and pick her up, Bert said. Coop hesitantly reached into the box and held the cat up to get a better look at it. To Coop's dismay, the cat looked exactly like, except the cat looked exactly like what? What did it look like? What did it look like? You can't just say a thought and then just have it randomly end. Because that confuses the reader. Oh my God. Except this cat was pink. Her name is Kit. I stopped by the pound this afternoon to pick something out, and when I saw her, I knew you'd love her. Coop slowly set Kit down on the floor. She looked around at her new surroundings. Where was she? How did she get here? She had to admit that it was much better here than that horrible place she was just sat in a cold metal cage all day. Cat looked at Kit and hearts popped up around his head. Sure, he'd seen plenty of female cats on his home planet, but Kit was different. Cat instantly felt drawn to her. Coop flinched when Kit turned to him. She meowed. She liked humans. They had always fascinated her. She started rubbing on Coop. Ah, look at that, Coop. She already likes you, Bert said. Millie sat down and picked Kit up. Ooh, Daddy, she's so cute. Kit squirmed in Millie's grip. Okay, maybe some humans were a little much. And that's the end of chapter 1. Okay, how many more chapters do we have? Well, if they're all short like this, I guess I can somewhat tolerate it. Let's go on to chapter 2, which is titled Doubts. Let's read the author's note. Hi everyone, a new chapter is up already. Man, I'm working fast. I just wanted to put in one more chapter before going to everyone. And please review. Wait, I just wanted to put in one more chapter before going to everyone? What? Whatever, let's just read. Coop was sitting on his bed watching Kit. She was walking around his room studying her new surroundings. Even though Kit seemed to be sweet, Coop was still unsure about whether... Is that seriously the version of weather you used? That version of weather would mean snowing or raining. You mean to use this version of weather. You know, I really don't want to sound like the fan fiction critic, but you really need to make sure that you use the right version of a word before you type it in. I mean, seriously. Weather and weather. How can you mix those two up? Oh my God, let's continue. Coop was unsure about whether he could trust her or not. After all, she was the same breed as Cat. Suddenly, Coop had a horrifying thought. What if Cat had brought Kit here so they could both gang up on him and make his life twice as miserable? I am not letting that happen, Coop said. He slowly looked over the ledge of his bed. Hey, Kit, he called softly. The pink cat looked up at her new owner. She meowed and jumped up onto the bed beside him. Coop immediately went on the defensive. Okay, I'm warning you. If you try anything, I'll... But before Coop could finish, Kit started rubbing on him again, purring loudly. Coop frowned. Kit wasn't yowling and trying to claw his face off. She was being nice. Coop hesitantly reached down and stroked Kit's back. She arched her back in the air, enjoying the attention. Coop couldn't help but smile a little bit. Maybe he was wrong about Kit. Cat was walking down the hall looking for Kit. He hadn't stopped thinking about her since he first saw her. As he passed by Coop's room, he heard a loud meow. Cat froze. He peered around the side of the door and gasped. There was Coop on his bed with Cat in front of him playing with a shoelace that he was dangling in front of her. Cat was outraged. First he keeps me from going home, Cat thought, and now he's stealing the cat of my dreams. The more Cat thought about it, the angrier he got. If Coop thought it was war before, well, he ain't seen nothing yet. Well, that chapter was somewhat better than the last one. At least the layout was slightly better and the grammar seems slightly better, but it still sucks. So let's move on to chapter 3, which is titled Coop's Defender. Hi everyone, I'm back! Thanks to the people who've reviewed so far, and sorry about the horrible grammar in chapter 1. I didn't realize it till afterwards. Well, enjoy chapter 3 and don't forget to review. Sorry buddy, your grammar still sucks. The next morning, Coop woke up and went downstairs for breakfast. He looked around, on Cat alert. It's quiet. Too quiet, he mumbled, getting a carton of milk from the fridge. Meow. Coop nearly jumped through the roof. Aha, he cried, springing around. He frowned. Oh, it's just you. He mumbled, smiling at Kit. Kit rubbed up against his legs, purring loudly. Coop reached down and rubbed the top of her head. Millie came downstairs just then, Cat right behind her. He saw Kit and ran to her. Hi. Kit frowned. Hello. She turned and sat down, facing away from him. Cat ran to sit in front of her. So, what brings you to Earth? She smiled slightly. Humans. Humans fascinate me, and I plan to live amongst them. She smiled at Coop. I especially like the young human male. Cat frowned. Who, Coop? Kit giggled. Coop. What a nice name. Cat sighed. Don't you realize he's the one keeping us here? We're stuck on Earth as long as he's around. Kit looked at Cat. Is that why you hate Coop? You blame him for us being here? Cat nodded. Coop looked down at the two cats. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Then Kit hissed at Cat and ran into the living room. Coop was confused. Were they talking to each other? Each other is two words, not one. He mumbled. He struggled. Wait, shouldn't it say he asked or asked himself or mumbled to himself? Whatever. He struggled. I'm sorry, that was my stupidity. He shrugged and took a bowl of cat food into the living room. Kit, Millie ran in behind him. Oh, there you are, Cat. Come on, let's have breakfast upstairs. She picked Cat up and went into the kitchen. She picked up a bowl of cat food and went upstairs. Cat sighed. He'd have to talk to Kit later. Coop knelt down and set the food bowl on the floor. Kit meowed and started eating. So you don't like Cat either, huh? He said. Cat meowed and nodded. Coop laughed, rubbing Kit's head. If Cat were like you, we might get along. Bert came into the room just then. Oh, there you are, Coop. How are things with Kit? Great, Dad. You were right. I do like her. She's way better than Cat. So you have a cat named Cat, and you named your other cat Kit? Whatever. That might just be the premise of the show itself, too, I guess. When Kit was done eating, Coop took the empty bowl in the kitchen and put it in the sink. It was Sunday, so Coop didn't have to go to school. Kit followed him upstairs. Cat came out of Millie's room just then, a laser gun in his hand. He made it himself, with nothing but a hairdryer and parts from an old ray gun he had stolen from the local science museum. He aimed the gun at Coop and fired just as Kit turned around to look at him. She saw what he had done and jumped on Coop's head, pushing him to the ground. Kit, what? He then saw the laser blast go through the wall. He sat up, looking down at Kit. You saved me. Kit meowed and rubbed against him. Coop smiled. Now he really liked Kit. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm liking where this is headed. And by the way, if you want to see what Kit looks like, just look at my avatar. Let's take a look at this person's avatar. So, is Kit supposed to be a wolf, or did you change your avatar since posting the story? Don't put stuff like that in your author's notes if you're going to be changing your avatar in the future. Let's move on to the next chapter, which the next chapter is called Chapter 4, Comforting Kit. Sorry guys, I know this one's short and I don't think it's my best work, but I hope you enjoyed Chapter 4. And don't forget to review. Disclaimer, I do not own Kit vs. Cat. I only own Kit. It had been a week since Kit arrived and she was driving Cat crazy. He hadn't been able to make Coop miserable in days. Coop, on the other hand, loved having Kit around. She always protected him against. Is that a word or is that supposed to be against? Did you, not pay attention to the red squiggly line that shows up when you type this in Microsoft Word? And if you don't have Microsoft Word, did you not bother to have someone read this over for you before you decided to publish this? Oh, who am I talking to? This person has horrible grammar anyway. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that their spelling sucks as well. So let's continue, and let's say the correct word. She always protected him against Cat's attacks. When a giant boulder would fall toward him, Kit pushed him out from its path. When Cat tried to pour cat litter in Coop's cereal, Kit caught it in Cat's bowl and ended up eating it and being sick for a week. When Cat tried to pounce on Coop and scratch him, Kit jumped in front of him, attacking Cat herself. Finally, Cat couldn't take it anymore. One morning, he walked over to Kit while she was drinking milk. "Hello, Kit," Cat said in as a pleasant voice as possible. Kit looked at him. "Hello, Cat." Cat growled, "You know, Kit, Kook has you brainwashed. He's turning you against your own kind." Kit shook her head. "No, he hasn't. I happen to like him, Cat, and since you won't leave him alone, it's my job to protect him from you." Cat sighed. Of all the cats in the universe, he had to fall for her. He sighed again. "Look, Kit, apparently you aren't going to listen to me." Kit shook her head. "Nope, not really." Coop came into the kitchen just then. "Hi, Kit." Kit meowed and rubbed against him. He picked her up. "Come on, Kit. I don't want you to catch Cat's mange. Whatever that is." Cat sighed. If Kit wouldn't believe the truth, then Cat would have to use the only other thing he knew he would work. His charm. Okay, guys, I hope you like that. I'll try to make chapters longer in the future, though. Until next time, live long and prosper, everyone. So what, are we all Vulcans? And actually, Kit, I hope you keep these chapters short because I can't stand this story. So, let's move on to the next chapter. Rescuing Kit. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Sorry for the wait on Chapter 5, but I've had horrible writer's block for the last several days. But it's gone now, and I can continue with this fic. Yay! Anywho, enjoy Chapter 5, and don't forget to review. "Hello, Kit," Cat said. It had almost been a month since she'd arrived. Kit glanced at Cat, who had something in his teeth. Kit looked at it. It was a red rose. He set the rose down in front of her. "I got this for you," Cat said, blushing. Kit smiled slightly. "Oh, well, thank you, Cat. That's very, nice of you." She picked up the rose with her paw and smelled it. "It smells nice." Cat blushed more. "You're welcome." There was a silence for a few more seconds. "So, are you busy?" Cat asked. Kit thought for a minute. No, not right now. Why?" Cat scuffed his paw on the floor. "Well, I was wondering if you wanted to, Kit!" Cat and Kit turned around and saw Coop walking over to them. "There you are, Kit. Come on, let's go see Dennis." Coop picked Kit up and started to carrying her away. "We'll talk later, Cat," Kit called. Cat sighed. "Well, that didn't work." Kit sighed. She was so bored. It turned out that Dennis had just bought a new video game, and he and Coop had locked themselves in his room and had left Kit in the living room. She rolled her eyes when she heard their laughter. "They've been in there for 2 hours," she mumbled. She sat there for a few more minutes. "All right, that's it." Is that seriously how they spelled all right? All right has one L in it, not two. Now, if you meant to have the two words all and right, have a space between the two of them. Either way, that is wrong. Let's continue. "All right, that's it," she said, getting up. She wondered what Cat was doing. She walked outside and started to walk across the street to the Burtenberger's house. As she was crossing the street, she heard growling from behind her. She turned and saw a large Doberman standing a few feet away from her. She hissed and started running. The dog followed, barking and snarling fiercely. Kit ran into the Burtenberger's yard, and just as she was about to slip through the cat door, the Doberman leaped in front of her, blocking her path. Kit slowly backed up, ready to defend herself if necessary. Kit closed her eyes, waiting for the final blow. "So, defending yourself if necessary involves you doing this?" "Don't hurt me." That was stupid. But it never came. She heard hissing and then a yelp. She opened her eyes as the dog was running away with its tail between its legs. And standing there where the dog had just been was Cat! Kit gasped, running over to him. "Oh, Cat, are you okay?" Cat nodded. "Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry, Kit. He'll never bother you again as long as I'm around." Kit rubbed up against Cat, her body trembling. "Oh, Cat, I was so scared. I thought I was dog chow, but..." She slowly looked up at him. "But you saved me," she blushed. "Thank you," she whispered, rubbing against him. Cat sighed. Finally, Kit was starting to like him. Cat chuckled. That Doberman wasn't kidding, he thought. He is a good actor. He sighed again, putting his arm around Kit, who was still snuggled up against him. That plan had worked perfectly. "Well, what do you think? Good, bad, not sure?" "Oh, I'll let you know. It sucks." "Let me know." "Okay, I just did. And I'm already brainstorming on ideas for Chapter 6, so keep watching it, because it's coming soon. Until next time, live long and prosper. Man, I gotta stop watching Star Trek. Yes, especially seeing Star Trek has absolutely nothing to do with this fanfic or the subject material of the fanfic. Okay, 5 chapters down, 6 or 7 more to go. Yeah, okay, let's go on to Chapter 6, which is called The Talk. Hi y'all, what's up? So what are you, a Southern Belle now? I'm back with chapter 6. Hope you enjoy it, and I'm hoping to get this fic done soon. Oh, seriously? They have 2 R's in really. Yes, people, if you read someone's author's note and they have bad spelling and grammar in the author's note, that tells you that the fanfic itself is going to have bad spelling and grammar. People, if your grammar and spelling is really that bad, get a freaking beta reader before you post it. I'm really having fun writing this, and I hope you are having fun reading it. Enjoy! Oh, I'm not having fun reading this. Kit sighed. It had been 2 hours since the Doberman attack, and she was afraid to go outside. Coop walked over to her, frowning. Dad, I'm worried about Kit. She's acting funny. Bert laughed. Oh, I'm sure she's fine, Coop. If she's acting strange tomorrow, we'll take her to the vet. Kit tensed up. Vet? She thought, shuddering. Cat glanced over at her, smirking. Suddenly, he heard scratching. He turned and saw the Doberman standing by the back door. Cat quickly slipped over to him. What? He sneered. The dog growled. You said I'd get a steak if I scared your girlfriend. Cat nodded. All in good time, Crusher. I have to wait till the humans leave. You'll get your steak. Don't worry. Crusher growled. I'd better, or I'll be back. Cat nodded, and Crusher turned and ran away. Kit walked over to him. Cat, who are you talking to? Cat jumped and turned to her. Oh, hi, Kit. I was just talking to myself. About? Cat gulped, trying to think of something to say. About you? Kit's eyes lit up. Me? She giggled. Really? What were you thinking about me? Cat chuckled. Oh, you know how beautiful you are, and how wonderful I think you are, and how bad I feel that you hate me. Kit sighed. I don't hate you, Cat. I hate how you treat Coop. He didn't do anything wrong, and you treat him like dirt. Cat frowned. I just want to go home, don't you? Kit shook her head. No, this is my home now. I'll never go back to that planet. Cat sighed. They stood in silence for a few seconds. So, do you think that dog will be back? Kit asked. Cat shook his head. Not as long as I'm around. I'll never let him hurt you, Kit. Kit blushed. She and Cat stared at each other for a few seconds. Kit was confused. She thought she hated Cat, but now she wasn't so sure. He seemed different somehow, and Kit liked it. Yeah, he's different because he's manipulating you. Run while you still can! Well, how was it? Be sure to let me know, and Chapter 7 will be up soon. Love you all! Oh, you're not going to love me by the time I'm done with this fanfic. Let's move on to Chapter 7. Which is called Busted! Oh gee, I wonder what's going to happen in this chapter. Hey y'all! Okay, I have to do it like this, seeing they keep on writing like this. Hey y'all, got another chapter up for ya. Hope you enjoy it, and please review. I really love reviews. Disclaimer, I do not own Kit versus Cat. I only own Kit and Crusher. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. Hey Kit. Kit groaned and opened one eye. Cat was standing over her, looking down at her. Wakey, wakey, he said cheerfully, poking her shoulder. Kit groaned and opened both her eyes, lifting her head. Would you mind telling me what you're doing waking me up this early? She growled, glaring at him. Cat laughed. Really? It's almost 10 o'clock. You call that early? Kit sighed and rolled her eyes. She got up and yawned, arching her back and stretching her legs. She went over to the water dish and took a long drink. So, what do you have planned for today? Planed? 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 How can you fuck up with that? Planned. Planned. The word planned has 2 N's in it. When you're saying planed, you're meaning like an airplane. And even planed doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. So that technically right there is not a word at all. People, this is why you need to proofread your stuff before publishing it. That's what you need to do. Because if you don't proofread, you tend to make a fool out of yourself. And I myself know that because I've done that myself in the past. You guys know with some of my episodes I have a little typo in there once in a great while, and then I end up ripping all my hair out when I watch it later, and then half of you guys point it out to me. So yeah, proofread your stuff if you don't want to come across as looking like an idiot. So let's say the word correctly. So, what do you have planned for today? Cat asked. Kit shrugged. I don't know. Suddenly she froze. Cat frowned. Kit, what's wrong? Kit didn't answer. She just kept staring out the glass door that led into the backyard. Cat followed her gaze and saw Crusher sitting outside the door, licking his lips. Cat, what are we going to do? Kit cried, running and hiding behind him. Cat gulped. It's all right. They did it again with all right. 2 L's in there. It's only supposed to have 1 L. Have a dictionary on you the next time you write a fanfic, because you desperately need it. It's all right, Kit. No need to panic. I'll take care of this. Kit pressed her body against Cat, and he could feel her shaking. He sighed. He hated lying to her like this, but he felt like it was the only way to get her to like him. Kit looked up at him. Well, what are you waiting for? Please, get him out of here, Cat. Cat nodded and slowly walked towards the door. He stopped and turned to Kit. Why don't you go hide in Coop's room? I'll take care of the dog. Kit smiled and nodded. She turned to go upstairs, but stopped and ran back to Cat. Be careful, okay? She said, kissing him on the cheek. Cat blushed and nodded. Then Kit turned and ran into Coop's room. Cat sighed and ran back out to where Crusher was waiting. Nice going. She saw you, he snapped. Crusher growled. Don't push it, Cat. I just came for my payment. Cat nodded. Wait here. I'll be back. He went back into the house and pulled a steak out from the refrigerator and went back outside. Meanwhile, Kit was watching everything from Coop's bedroom window. She saw Cat walk over to Crusher and drop a steak to the ground in front of him. There, just like I promised. Now go, before she sees. Crusher nodded. Nice doing business with you, Cat, he said, smirking and grabbing the steak in his jaws. He then turned and ran off. Kit gasped and felt tears welling up in her eyes. It was a setup? I can't believe it. She felt hurt and anger rising inside of her. She stomped downstairs. Cat! Cat gulped, his body tensing. Oh, uh-oh, he mumbled. Busted. Well, was it any good? Make sure to let me know. Have a good day, everyone. Well, I'll let you know this was incredibly predictable. And, how exactly was she hearing everything? Unless the window was open or she has really good ears. But, you know, predictable is predictable. You can't cure it. Let's move on to Chapter 8, which is called Kaz. Hey, y'all. Did you miss me? No. Laugh out loud anyway. Here's Chapter 8. 2 new chapters are going to be introduced, and I hope you Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to do that from the top. Hey, y'all. Did you miss me? No. LOL. Anyway, here's Chapter 8. 2 new characters are going to be introduced, and I hope you like them. Please enjoy this chapter, and don't forget to review. Kit ran into the kitchen, and she didn't look happy. Cat gulped nervously. Hi, Kit. How's it going? Kit glared at him. You must really think I'm stupid, she mumbled. Cat shook his head. No, of course not. I don't care what you think, Kit snapped. I can't believe you did something like that. And here I thought you really saved me from that dog, but I guess you don't care about me as much as I thought you did. Cat felt his heart pounding nervously. Kit, it was all a big misunderstanding. Kit narrowed her eyes at him. Oh, really? She said suspiciously. Cat nodded. Of course. Yes, of course. See, I don't want to hear your excuses, Cat. Just leave me alone. Kit turned and started to walk away. Cat ran after her. Kit, wait, I really do care about you. In fact, I think I love... But before Cat could finish, there was a loud bang, and something shot from the sky and landed in the Burton Burgers' backyard. Cat and Kit recognized it instantly. A cat pod, they gasped. The pod's door opened and a cat alien stepped out. He looked just like Cat and Kit, except he was orange. Well, then he doesn't look exactly like them if he's a different color. Kit's eyes widened when she saw him. Kaz? Is that really you? She cried, running over to him. He gasped when he saw Kit. Kit? Wow, I didn't expect to see you here. They hugged, and Cat's jaw dropped to the ground. Kit turned to him. Cat, this is Kaz. I used to play with him all the time when I was a kid, and I haven't seen him in years. Kaz smiled. So, Cat, how are you? How do you like Earth? How do you like it on Earth? Cat shrugged. It's okay, I guess, he mumbled. Kaz looked at Kit. My, you're as lovely as you were the last time I saw you. Kit giggled, blushing. Cat rolled his eyes. Oh, brother, he thought, stepping between Kaz and Kit. Excuse me, Kaz, but Kit and I were just leaving. Kit shook her head. No, we weren't. We live here, Kaz frowned. With humans? Cat and Kit nodded. Suddenly, Dad, look, Cat and Kit made a new friend. Kit tensed up. Oh no, uh-oh. Hi, Kaz, the orange cat frowned. What? What are you? But he was suddenly picked up by Millie. Oh, Daddy, he's so cute. Can we keep him, please? Bert and Coop walked over to her and Bert shook his head. Sorry, Millie, he probably belongs to someone else. Or belongs to someone. Besides, we already have Mr. Cat and Kit, and they're plenty to take care of. Millie glared at her dad, but for once kept her mouth shut and set Kaz back to the ground. Coop stared at Kaz. He only hoped that it was a coincidence that he looked like Cat and Kit. Coop, check around the neighborhood and see if that cat belongs to someone, okay? Bert said as he and Millie went back into the house. Coop frowned. But, he sighed and hesitantly picked Kaz up. Kaz growled and he was about to bite him when Kit shook her head. No, Kaz, it's okay. He's my owner and he won't hurt you. Kaz nodded. Cat and Kit followed Coop as he went from house to house asking if anyone had lost a cat. It was always the same at every house. Either someone was missing a cat and it wasn't Kaz, or no one was missing a cat at all. By the time Coop got to the end of the block, he was losing hope. When he got to the last house, he noticed that there was a moving van parked in the driveway. That's funny. I didn't know anyone was moving into the neighborhood. He walked up to the front door and rang the doorbell. The door opened and a young girl was standing there. She had long blonde hair that was up in a ponytail, and she was wearing a white shirt and dark pink shorts. Coop blushed. Hi, I'm Coop, and I was wondering if you lost a cat. He held Kaz out to her. The girl smiled. I'm Cassie, and sorry, but I'm not missing a cat. I can't even have a cat. My dad's allergic. Coop smiled. But he's a hairless cat, so there's nothing to get allergic to. Cassie laughed. Well, he is cute. I can go ask my dad if I can keep him. Wait here. She went back inside and came back 2 minutes later. I've said this once. No, twice. No, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, a million times that you do not use the number, you use the word version of the number. So it should be TWO, 2, not the number 2. Now if it's a humongous number, like 8,395,213, then you would use the number. But if it's something like the number 2, or like the number 10, 20, or up to like 99, write out the word version and not the number version. Because it looks a lot more professional with the word version. Let's continue to read. And came back 2 minutes later. My dad said I could keep him for a few days and see how it works out. Coop smiled and handed Kaz to her. Cassie looked at Cat and Kit. Oh, how cute. They're so cool. What breed are they? Coop frowned. I don't know. They're just hairless. Cassie giggled. Well, thanks for the cat, Coop. Maybe we can hang out sometime. Coop blushed again and nodded. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we can. So, see you later. Cassie waved and went back into the house. Cat and Kit followed Coop back to the Burtonburgers' house. Kit frowned. I'm sorry, Kit, but you'll always have me. Kit rolled her eyes. Yeah, right, she muttered, hurrying into the house. Cat sighed. He needed to find a way to let Kit know how he felt. But how was he going to do that? Well, maybe you can stop lying to her for one thing, and then she'll learn to trust you, you dumbass. So, how was it? I think it was pretty good, and I have a question for you guys. Do you think it should be Cat and Kit or Kaz and Kit? Just wondering what you all think. Keep a lookout for Chapter 9, because it's coming soon! Jesus Christ. 4 more chapters to go. Let's get this over with. Hey, and Chapter 9 is called Catching Up. Hey y'all, here's Chapter 9. I didn't expect to have it up this fast, but here it is. Anywho, I hope you're all liking Kaz and Cassie. You just introduced them in the last chapters, and we don't really know much about them, so we can't really like them yet. And for anyone who cares, I actually came up with Kaz a few hours before I wrote this. Chapter story was always intended. Wait, what? I actually came up with Kaz a few hours before I wrote chapter story. Chapter story? Don't you mean like the last chapter? And shouldn't this next thought be its own sentence on its own? Yes, I know I'm critiquing the author's note, but at this point it needs to be critiqued because it's as bad as the rest of the fanfic. Story was intended to be Cat and OC, but who knows where it'll go now. So enjoy Chapter 9, everyone. I doubt it. Kaz and Kit were sitting outside on Burtonberger's. Wow, they spelled the last name wrong of the family. They spelled the family's last name wrong. Oh my God. This is just pathetic. It seems like it's getting worse and worse. Well, actually, in this chapter, it looks like the layout's a little bit better because they actually have dialogue separated in one line. But the grammar is still horrendous. Let's continue. Looking at the starry night sky. So how have things been going? Kaz asked. Kit shrugged. Oh, you know, pretty good. Don't you miss our home planet? Kit thought for a moment. Sometimes, she admitted, but I like it much better here on Earth. Kaz frowned. Really? So, you wouldn't go back with me if I asked? Kit blushed. Well, that depends. Are you asking? Maybe. Kit giggled and Cat rolled his eyes. He was hiding behind a lawn chair, and he'd had enough of all this. It had been a week since Kaz arrived, and he'd caused nothing but trouble for Cat. I'm serious, Kit, Kaz continued, tearing Cat away from his jealous thoughts. Will you come back with me? You know I've always cared for you as more than a friend, right? Kit sighed, biting her lower lip. What about Cat? Kaz frowned. I don't think he likes me very much. Kit rolled her eyes. He's just jealous because I've been spending so much time with you. He'll get over it eventually. Kaz slid close to Kit. I've always loved you, you know, he said quietly. Ever since we were kittens. I was just too young to realize it then. But now I do. He looked right at Kit. Come back with me, Kit. Together, we can leave this planet and go home where we belong. Kit blushed. You really love me? She asked quietly. Kaz nodded. Yes, always have. Unless you love, don't say it, Kit said, making a gagging motion. If there's one cat I'd never fall in love with, it's him. I told you about that thing with the dog. How can I trust him again after that? Kaz shrugged. I can't help you there, Kit. You're going to have to figure that one out by yourself. Kit sighed and leaned against Kaz, while Cat was still hiding behind a lawn chair, fuming. Meanwhile, ding dong! Coop, can you get that? Bert called from upstairs. Got it, Dad, Coop answered, running to the door and opening it. Coop blushed. Cassie, hi. What are you doing here? Cassie blushed. Hi, Coop. Sorry to be here so late, but I can't find Kaz anywhere, and I've been all over the neighborhood. He isn't here with Cat and Kit, is he? Coop shrugged. I'm not sure, but we can look. Cassie smiled, and she and Coop started searching the house for Kaz. By the time they got to the backyard, they could see Kaz and Kit snuggled up next to each other on the patio table. Cassie giggled. Ah, isn't that sweet? Looks like Kaz and Kit are in love. Coop got a nervous feeling when Cassie said love, but he quickly shrugged. I think they meant to say shrugged. This is what I'm talking about, though. A typo like that is just laughable. It really is laughable. Some people can say the typos are caused by like the slip of your fingers on the keyboard, but that must have been a really dramatic slip up to cause that. Let's continue and say what the word is supposed to be. But he quickly shrugged it off and picked Kaz up. Here you go, he said, handing him to Cassie. She smiled. Oh, thanks, Coop. She set Kaz down and hugged Coop, who was blushing madly. You're welcome. Cassie bent down and picked Kaz up again. Thanks again, Coop. See you later. And she walked out the door, talking to Kaz the whole time. Cat had just come back into the house. He had heard everything Cassie had said earlier, and it worried him. What if Kaz and Kit were really in love? Cat stuttered at the thought. He glanced at Kit, who was going upstairs to Coop's room. Cat sighed. He had to get Kit to like him, and fast. So, how was it? I think it was one of the best chapters so far, And I might as well tell you all now, but this is one of the last chapters. Meaning, insert long dramatic drum roll here. This story is almost over! Really? I never would have guessed that, seeing you just said that this is one of the last chapters. I thought it was going to go on forever and ever 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 and ever. Let's continue. But don't worry, there's sure to be a sequel if anyone wants it. No. By the way, quick question. This has nothing to do with Kit versus Kat. Has anyone seen a movie from the 50s called The Fly? I was asking because I saw it for the first time last night and wasn't happy with the ending. Let's just say it was depressing and tragic. So I'm thinking about doing a little rewrite. But if no one knows what I'm talking about, or they do, and just think that's the stupidest idea ever, then I'm not going to do it. Just wondering. And don't forget to review Chapter 9. And now I'm going to bed because it's almost 1:30 in the morning here. And be on the lookout for Chapter 10. Freddy's Nightmare, 1984. Chapter 10, let's move on. Chapter 10, Betrayal. Let's get started. Hey y'all, what's up? Here's Chapter 10, and I'll warn you now, either Chapter 11 or 12 will be the last chapter! So let me know if you want a sequel. No, but seeing this was written back in 2009, there's probably a chance that there is a sequel. And by the way, I'm not going to read it if there is one. I want to do one real bad, but I want your input too. Anywho, here's Chapter 10, and you'll see a side of Kaz you probably never saw coming. Don't forget to review. Kat was having a bad day. First, Kit told him that she was considering leaving with Kaz, and then he got in trouble with Millie for getting into a fight with Kaz, whom Cassie had brought over earlier. All in all, it just wasn't Kat's day. He was sitting on the windowsill in the kitchen when he heard the first sounds of an argument. I'm sorry, Kaz, but I've decided not to go. Kat turned. Kit was walking into the living room, Kaz right behind her. You can't change your mind now, Kit. It's too late. You are coming with me. Kit glared at him. No, I'm not. You're not my boss. I can do whatever I want. Kaz ground his teeth together angrily, and Kat could tell that Kaz wasn't the type to be messed with when he was angry. The look in his eyes was dark and cold. It sent shivers up Kat's spine, and he walked into the living room and hid behind the couch so he could hear better. Kit, don't you love me? Don't you want to be with me? Kit shrugged. I don't know, Kaz. I'm just confused right now. I have a lot on my mind. Kaz didn't look happy, but he nodded slowly. I see. What makes you want to stay here? Kit smiled. My family. Coop. And the Burton burger. Even Kat and Millie. Kaz frowned. They're only humans. Kit sighed. They're my family. Kaz rolled his eyes. You and I can start our own family. We don't need them. Kit couldn't believe what she was hearing. What's wrong with you, Kaz? You're not acting like yourself. Kaz glared at her. Look, Kit, I love you, and I just want to be with you. Can't you understand that? Kit nodded. Yes, I can, but I'm still not leaving Earth. I'm sorry, Kaz. Kat peeked around the edge of the couch and saw Kaz sneaking up behind Kit, who had just turned away from him. I hate to do this, Kit, but it's the only way, Kaz said. He grabbed her arms and turned her to face him. Kit frowned. Kaz, what are you doing? I'm sorry, Kit, but if you won't come quietly, I'll have to make you come. Kit's eyes widened. Kaz, no, please, don't do this. I love you. Kat felt his heart sink when he heard Kit say that, but he knew he had to save her. He came up from behind the couch and attacked Kaz, who was dragging Kit outside. Kaz, please don't do this. What is wrong with you? Kit was sobbing now, struggling to break from Kaz's grip. When Kit slammed into Kaz, Kit was knocked away from both of them and just sat there and watched as the two cats fought, clawing and biting viciously at each other. Kit's heart was pounding. Suddenly Kaz knocked Kat to the ground and held his claws over his head, ready to strike. Kit was panicking. She had to do something. Just as Kaz was about to strike the purple cat, Kit leaped up in front of Kaz. Kit leaped in front of Kat. Kaz didn't have time to stop and slashed Kit's face. Kit screeched as searing pain shot through her. She collapsed on the ground next to Cat. Cat stood up and got between Kaz and Kit, growling fiercely. Coop, Millie, and Cassie ran into the room just then. Kaz, what happened? Cassie cried, running over and picking up her cat. Coop and Millie noticed Kit just then. Kit, oh my gosh! Coop yelled, running over to her, but Cat hissed and swiped at him with his claws. Coop glared at him. I bet you had something to do with this. What did you do? Cassie frowned. I hate to say this, Coop, but I think, she said, but I think Kaz did this, tears welling up in her eyes. I'm sorry, I'll have to go. And she turned and left, taking Kaz with her. Coop followed. Cassie, wait, it's not your fault. Meanwhile, you don't have to say meanwhile every single time you change something. You can just say, and after they left, Kit looked over at Cat and have that happen. Kit looked over at Cat. Cat? She smiled slightly. Oh, Cat, you saved me. For real this time, Kit said, blushing. Thank you, Cat nodded. Don't worry, Kit. He'll never come near you again, I promise. Kit giggled a little, then winced. Oh, my face hurt. Cat smiled, then did something totally cat-like. He leaned over toward Kit and started licking her face. Kit was surprised. She knew that Earth cats did this to show comfort and affection to other cats, and the cats on her planets licked for the same reason. But it felt awkward because Cat was doing it, but Kit liked it. She started purring softly. She slowly got louder and louder, and then Cat started purring too. Soon the whole room was filled with her content purring, and that's when Kit knew that she could trust Cat, and that she felt that she wanted to be more than friends. Well, how was it? I think it was pretty good, though it could have been better, I guess. Boy, I made Kaz a real jerkface, didn't I? That's character assassination for you. That wasn't originally in the plan, but I've always heard that in every good story there's a bad guy. So, he wasn't originally a bad guy, so you randomly decided to make him into a bad guy just to add drama? And not every story needs a villain, you idiot. So, I hope you guys like this one. Remember, there's going to be another chapter or two before it's over, but request a sequel if you wish. And even if no one asks for one, I'll probably write one anyway. Just like when we all kept on asking Just like when we all asked Hamo Hamster to stop writing fanfics about real people because none of us wanted these fanfics, and yet she kept on writing them anyway. Thankfully, she stopped for now. Let's continue to read this author's note. Have a good day, everyone, and review! And let me know if I should do a rewrite of The Fly, okay? Peace, Freddy's Nightmare 1984. Okay, let's move on to chapter 11, called Sky. Hey y'all, what's up? I'm back and here's chapter 11. In Kit's point of view, POV, point of view, yeah, we already know. It's almost over, boo! Hope you enjoy it and don't forget to review. Disclaimer, I own nothing except for Kit, Crusher, the Doberman, Cat Pods, Kaz, Sky, and Cassie. Everything else belongs to Disney and the creator Kid vs. Cat. I wish I owned Cat though. I was stretched out on the couch, my long pink tail swishing back and forth. It had been a week since I'd last seen Kaz. Apparently Cassie had promised not to bring him over anymore. I sighed. Cat had hardly left my side since, and he licked my face every day, saying that he was simply cleaning it. I was just drifting off to sleep when I felt something warm press up against my body. I looked up and saw Cat sitting beside me. He smiled. Hi, Kit, how are you feeling? I shrugged. Oh, I'm fine, I guess. I blushed. You know, Cat, you really don't need to stay here 24/7. I can take care of myself. Cat shook his head. I don't mind. Besides, I've got nothing better to do. You mean you aren't going to torture Coop in some way today? I asked. Cat shook his head. No, you're more important. I blushed. Cat had really been nice to me lately. Not that I'm complaining, but he sleeps by my side every night and only leaves to eat. I have a feeling that he's changed, for real this time, and I know it's because of me. I think I'm starting to like having Cat around, but I still don't appreciate the way he treats Coop. The two of them still aren't getting along, but at least Cat's left Coop alone for the last several days. I sighed and snuggled closer to Cat, enjoying the warmth of his body against mine. Just as I was starting to fall asleep when I heard a loud crash and then the whole house shook. Cat and I were knocked off the couch and looked at each other. Was that another cat pod? Cat asked. I shrugged. I don't know. Let's find out. We ran out the door and into the backyard. Sure enough, there was a cat pod in a giant crater in the ground that it made when it landed. Cat and I looked up in the hole. Hello, I said. There was a cough, and then a sky blue cat crawled from beneath the now ruined pod. My eyes widened. Sky? Is that you? He looked at me and his jaw dropped. Oh, great, Cat muttered, slapping his paw against his face. Not another one. Sky jumped out of the hole and we hugged. What are you doing here, Sky? I asked. Cat glared at us. I turned to him. Cat, this is, let me guess, an old friend of yours? I rolled my eyes. Yes, he is my friend, but see, I knew it. But he's also my brother. See, just like I... Wait, what? Cat looked confused and I laughed. Sky is my brother, Cat. Cat's face reddened. Oh, yes, well, Nice to meet you, Cat, Sky said, smiling. Cat nodded slowly. Yes, likewise, Sky. He sighed. Kit failed to mention that she had a brother. He added, glaring at me. I grinned sheepishly and shrugged. What? Cat sighed. Why don't you ever tell me that you had a brother? Why didn't you ever tell me that you had a brother? I shrugged. I don't know. I guess I never thought of it. Cat sighed and there was an awkward silence. Oh, I know the real reason why you didn't tell him that you had a brother. It was because the brother did not exist until, like, the last chapter when the author thought, oh, I know, I'll add another character. This time it'll be a brother. Then I turned to Sky. Hey, bro, let me show you around. He nodded and followed me into the house. Once we were alone, Sky sat down, smirking at me. I frowned. Why are you smiling at me like that? You never told me that you had a boyfriend. I blushed. He's not my boyfriend. He's just a friend. Sky smirked. He seemed really upset before he knew I was your brother. I rolled my eyes. Yeah, he's always jealous of other guys. Sky stretched. Why don't you give him a chance? He really seems to care about you. I sighed. I wasn't sure how I felt about anything anymore, but I was sure of one thing. I was really starting to like Cat. This is how they spell starting. Learn to spell! Let's continue. Well, how was it? I think it's pretty good, but I have a feeling that my writing's getting worse and worse. What gave you that idea? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Anywho, hope you guys are satisfied. And review, please. And by the way, I'm almost done with the first chapter of my remake of The Fly. So look for it, because I'll be posting it in the next few days, hopefully. Peace out, everyone. Freddy's Nightmare, 1984. Okay, let's move on to the final chapter. Hello, all. I'm back! So sorry it took me so freaking long to update! I deeply apologize to all my readers. I didn't intend to wait this long, but it turns out that my laptop was full of viruses and is still in the shop right now. I have to use my mom or dad's computer, whichever one happens to be around. So once again, I'm so sorry for the delay. But here it is, the chapter you've been waiting for. Chapter 12! With hints of Coop, Cassie, and Kit and Cat. Disclaimer, I do not own Kid versus Cat. I only own Kit, Cassie, Kaz, Sky, and Crusher. Everything else belongs to Disney. Kit couldn't believe what she was seeing. Who in the world was she? Kit had never seen her before, or had she? Kit shook her head, watching the hologram that was projecting from Cat's collar. The hologram was of a beautiful cat, an alien cat. She was purple like Cat. She seemed very excited to see Cat. He was holding the collar, talking to the hologram. I miss you, the female cat was saying. Kit frowned. Even her voice was beautiful. She must be Cat's girlfriend, Kit thought. Suddenly anger and hurt welled up inside her. How dare Cat not tell her about his girlfriend? Kit turned and ran to the house, tears in her eyes. Oh, why do I care anyway? She mumbled. So what if Cat has a girlfriend? She sighed and looked out the window. It's not like I love Cat or anything, she shuddered. I'd rather bite my own tongue. She then shook her head. Oh, who am I kidding? Here she is. Kit looked up at the sound of Coop's voice. Coop and Cassie had come into the room. Oh, God. Oh, good. I saw that Cat was here without Kit, and I was worried, Cassie said, scratching Kit behind the ears. Kit purred and rubbed against Cassie's legs. Cassie giggled. "Oh, Kit, you're so sweet," she sighed. "If only Kaz would have stayed with me," Coop frowned. "What happened to Kaz?" Cassie shrugged. "I don't know. I woke up a few days ago and he was gone." "Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, Cassie," Coop said. "Maybe we can still find him." "If it's only been a few days, he couldn't have gotten far." Cassie smiled. You'd really help me find Kaz?" Coop shrugged. "Sure, why not?" Cassie threw her arms around him and hugged him. "Oh, Coop, thank you. You're the best." Coop blushed and pulled away from Cassie. Thanks. Now come on. We can start looking now." Cassie frowned. "Wait, you mean right now? As in this very second?" Coop nodded. "Yeah, come on." Cassie smiled, and she and Coop left. Kit frowned. "Well, at least love comes easy to some." Wait. Let's read that again, because I just noticed something. "Well, at least love comes east to some." I think you mean to say easy. She thought. Just then, Cat came into the room. "Oh, there you are, Kit," he said. Kit sighed. "Oh, hello, Cat." She walked past him and out into the hallway. Cat frowned. What's with her, he thought. He followed after her. Kit had gone into Millie's room and was fiddling with Cat's collar. "Wait, Kit, what are you doing?" Cat cried. Kit looked at him. "Nothing," she sighed in frustration. The collar may have come from the home planet, but it was an advanced piece of technology. Very advanced. And Kit couldn't figure it out. "Kit, please put that collar down," Cat said. "In fact, give it to me." Kit shook her head. "No. I just want to see what kind of information you have stored in here." She pushed a button and a hologram showed up again. And there was the mystery cat. "Finally, I've been trying to," the cat was saying. "Hey, who are you?" she demanded. Kit glared at her. "I was about to ask you the same thing." "Oh, okay, you two might as well know," he mumbled. "I'll say it," the two female cats said. "Okay, look, Kit, this is Karina. Karina, this is Kit," Cat said. Kit and Karina glared at each other. "And Karina is my girlfriend," Cat continued. "What?" Kit cried, tears welling in her eyes. "You mean all this time you had a girlfriend and didn't tell me? I can't believe—" "Wait, let me finish," Cat said. Kit got quiet and he continued. "Well, I'd been trying to get contact with Karina for months with no success." He looked at Kit and sighed. "And then I met you," he said softly. "And you amazed me. You still do. And I nearly forgot all about Karina. Of course, I still tried to contact her, but for a different reason than before." "And that reason would be," Karina asked. Cat sighed. To break up with you," he mumbled. Karina gasped. "What? But why?" Cat looked at Kit. "Because, you know what? I don't care," Kit said. "Just go, Cat. Go back to our planet and be with Karina. See if I cared." She turned and started to leave, but Cat's next words stopped her. "I'm breaking up with Karina because I've fallen in love with you." Meanwhile, "Coop, we've been looking for nearly an hour," Cassie said. She and Coop were walking down the sidewalk looking for Kaz. They'd covered nearly 4 blocks and I think they're supposed to say "were" there. And I'm not going to show you the typo anymore, because if you guys are reading on with me, you should be able to see it. And I've just gotten so frustrated with the story, I just want to end it. We're coming to the start of the 5th one. "Oh, come on, Cassie. I have a feeling we'll find Kaz," Coop said. Cassie sighed and hesitantly followed behind Coop. Just then, someone came running up behind them. "Hi, Coop." Coop and Cassie jumped. "Ah, Phoebe!" Coop yelled angrily. He then realized that he'd grabbed Cassie's hand. They spelled Cassie wrong. He blushed and quickly let go. Phoebe frowned. "Oh, hi, Cassie," she mumbled. Cassie nodded. "Hi, Phoebe." "What are you doing here?" Phoebe demanded. "Coop and I are looking for my cat," Cassie said. "Like it's any of your business," she added under her breath. Phoebe smiled. "Oh, you lost a cat? Funny, because I came here to show Cooper Duper my new cat." Cassie rolled her eyes, smirking at Phoebe's nickname for Coop. Phoebe pointed across the street on her front porch. Laying on the porch swing was a cat. An orange cat. Cassie gasped. "Kaz!" she yelled, running onto the porch and picking him up. "Oh, Kaz, I missed you." Phoebe and Coop ran over to Cassie. "Who's Kaz?" Phoebe asked. "That's Mr. Fuffermuff." Cassie frowned. "Mr. Fuffermuff? He's hairless, you dolt. He's not fluffy at all." Phoebe gasped. "Well, how rude. It's a good thing that Coop doesn't like girls as rude as you." Cassie gasped and Coop stepped between them. He didn't want the two of them to start World War III. But I do like Cassie, he blurted out. Cassie and Phoebe gasped. You do? They yelled. Coop blushed and nodded. Yeah, I do. Cassie blushed and giggled. Phoebe looked downright mad. Fine, go. We're over, Coop, and don't think you can come crawling back to me either. Coop and Cassie laughed as they walked back to Coop's house. Thanks so much for helping me find Kaz, Kissy said. Okay, this is the third time they've spelled Cassie's name wrong in this entire story. This time, it's missing an A. If you're going to have an original character, you can do the proper thing and spell their name right, even if the character itself sucks. Carrying the reluctant cat in her arms, she blushed. And did you really mean what you said? Do you really like me? Coop nodded. Yeah, I meant it. Cassie smiled and grabbed Coop's hand, just as he smiled at her, and they kept walking. Back at the Burtonberger's house, I'm breaking up with Karina because I fall in love with you. What? Kit turned to look at Kat. He smiled weakly. Yeah, I love you, Kit, so much. Kit stood there, shocked, a small smile across her face. Or crossed her face. I think I love you too, she whispered. Kat smiled. Really? Kit nodded. Yes, they ran to each other. Again, each other is two words, not one. Meanwhile, Karina had turned off the hologram projector. She now knew where she was headed, planet Earth. Oh, Jesus Christ, really? 2 months later, Bert was in the kitchen watching Kat and Kit while they ate. He mumbled, looking at Kit. Something doesn't seem right about her. Coop, he yelled. Whatever it is, I didn't do it, Coop yelled. It's nothing like that. Just get down here, Bert said, rolling his eyes. Coop ran downstairs into the kitchen. What is it, Dad? Son, how much food have you been giving Kit? Bert asked. Coop frowned. Same amount as always, Dad. Why? Bert pointed at the pink cat. There was no doubt that she was gaining weight. Coop gasped. Wow, Kit, you've got to lay off the cat treats. Kit gave him an insulted look before she went back to eating. Well, if you're not overfeeding her, then we'll just have to take her to the vet and see what the problem is. Even if there even is one, Bert said. She could just be getting a little lazy. Kit gave him an insulted look right before she threw up all over the floor. I'm telling you I'm fine, Kit said to Kat a few minutes later. The two cats were sitting on the patio watching Bert, Coop, Cassie, Dennis, and Millie play ball in the backyard. Then why don't you blow cat chunks right just now? Kat asked. Kit eyed and shrugged. They forgot the S inside. This is just getting pathetic. I don't know, she said defensively, snuggling against Kat. It had only been 2 months since Kit and Kat had confessed their love for each other. They did it again, and the two couldn't have been happier. Kat hadn't tried to harm Coop in weeks, and Kit was, although a little moody at times, happier than she'd ever been. And Kat now knew that this was where he belonged, here, on Earth, with Kit. Boo! It's over. Yay! It's over! No, wait, it isn't. Ah! That's right. It's not over. Fuck you. I'm not reading your sequel. Oh my gosh, I can finally start part 2. That's right. There's going to be a part 2. Ha ha ha, I'm so thrilled. Not. Laugh out loud. Sorry for the exclamation points, but I'm just so excited. I'm going to start chapter 1 and part 2 in the next few days. So be on the lookout for it. Well, it's been a blast writing this, and I hope it's been just as much of a blast reading it. Not for me. But until next time, bye-bye, and don't forget to review Freddy's Nightmare 1984. Oh, you want me to review your story then? You want me to give it my final thoughts? Well, here's my final thoughts. It was a jumbled mess. The original characters, I guess, were decent. But it was one that, well, actually, no, not really, because you know what Kit was? Kit was pretty much a Mary Sue made for Kat. Drop dead beautiful. He dumped his girlfriend for her. I mean, really. And how you introduce some of these new characters just came out of nowhere. You introduced Kaz just to be a love interest. You were going to go with the idea of Kit and Kaz being together. And then all of a sudden you made he's gonna go to Earth to try to ruin things. I don't know. It's just stupid. The fanfic was stupid. The grammar was awful. The layout was awful. And I'm just not going to check out your other story, because if this one was bad, the other one's probably going to be just as bad, if not worse. Well, Well, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen, and I need to go to work. Quite literally.